Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another anime versus manga character analysis video. And in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at everybody's favorite bird boy from Arc 5, sorry Crow, Kurosaki Shun, the edgy guy from Arc 5 from the XZ's dimension. And for those of you that do not remember how this video series works, we're going to break this character down into 6 different categories. A brief analysis of his anime storyline, a manga analysis, similarities, differences, a brief deck profile, and the final analysis, which is basically me telling you which version I liked more. We have not done a video on this series in a very long time. I'm very excited to be back, and let's just dive right in. Here is an anime versus manga video on the one and only Kurosaki Shun. I hope you all enjoy. Shun was raised in the XZ's dimension of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 world. He had a very good relationship with his best friend Yugioh and his younger sister Ruri, who he wanted to watch over and protect no matter what. He was genuinely a very good older brother. Things changed for Shun when Academia attacked his dimension. A lot of his friends were carded, homes were destroyed, and most importantly, his little sister was gone, kidnapped by Yuri. This was the moment that changed Shun into the colder, calculated, intense person that we see in the standard dimension when the masked Shun, along with his friend Yugioh, debuted to us. While Yugioh seems a bit kinder, they both carried an intensity that made us watch intently every time they were on screen. Shun was much more aggressive in his approach to finding information pertaining to his sister than Yugioh was, targeting anyone associated with LDS, the school once owned by Akaba Leo, now run by Akaba Reiji. Shun felt getting to the Akabas was the quickest way he could save his sister. He carded many professors and then eventually wrecked the LDS trio of Masumi, Hokuto, and Yaiba. This forced Reiji to show up and confront Shun, but unfortunately, the two of them didn't duel. Instead, Reiji explained to Shun they had a common enemy in Akaba Leo and got Shun to join the Miami Championship tournament. It was in this tournament that Shun matched up with Sora. The duel that would commence would be viewed by many fans, including myself, to be one of the greatest duels in the entire franchise. Shun would announce in front of the whole stadium that Sora's people attacked his homeland, shocking everyone, and even got Sora to break his disguise and go insane in an effort to try to defeat Shun. Sora would be unsuccessful, and Shun would walk away without carding him due to Reiji removing that feature from his duel disc. This was the duel that solidified Shun as an incredible duelist, but also one of the most intense characters that we have ever seen. Shun would actually end up facing Sora in a rematch during the Battle Royale section of the tournament, in which he would end up losing to Sora, only to be saved from being carded by Serena. This would lead Shun and Serena to duel Obelisk Force members and subsequently defeat them. It would not be long after this that Shun learned his best friend Yugioh was gone, and he had been absorbed into Yuya after he lost to Yugioh. Shun was now without his sister and his best friend, who he had traveled to Standard with. He was officially part of the Lancers as well, a team Reiji put together to try and stop his father's army and the Fusion Dimension. The Lancers would travel to Synchro, where most of them would be arrested and thrown into jail. Shun was essential in breaking out, as he physically beat up many of the officers during the escape plan. This led to the Lancers joining the Friendship Cup, a riding duel tournament that took place to show the unity between the tops and the commons. Shun would be matched up with Dennis in the first round, and what do you know, another first round matchup and another traitor reveal spectacle. Shun quickly outed Dennis as a member of the Fusion Army, which Dennis was forced to confirm in front of the audience due to Shun backing him into a corner. Dennis recalled the day they invaded his hometown, including how he helped target Shun's sister for the kidnapping. This enraged Shun, and Shun was able to obliterate Dennis thanks to Satellite Cannon Falcon's attack. With another Fusion member outed, Shun would advance in the tournament and take on Crow. In the Battle of the Birds, Shun was not able to overcome Crow, although he did save Tanner's life, which Crow is incredibly thankful for. After Reiji and Jean-Michel Raget duel, Shun was sucked into a wormhole and taken back to the XZ's dimension, along with Yuya, Gangenzika, and Shingo. It was here that he ran into his old friend Kaito, where he took yet another L. Thanks to the pleas and cries of Sayaka, Kaito spared Shun's life and walked away instead of carding him. Later on in this dimension, he took on the Tyler twins alongside Yuya, but but collapsed in the middle of the duel. Yugioh and Shun would be victorious over the Fusion Dimension's fierce twin sisters and would eventually make their way to the Fusion Dimension, where Shun finally found Ruri, his younger sister, locked away in a tower. After reuniting with Ruri, Ruri pushed him out of the tower as she had been infected by the doctor's brainwashing bug, and then a duel commenced in which Shun defeated Ruri, but Ruri ran away and escaped before Shun was able to truly cure her from being brainwashed. After a few more Fusion Dimension shenanigans, Zark would eventually be resurrected. Shun did his best to try to take down Zark and was part of the winning effort as he dueled alongside Kaito, but after Zark's defeat, Ruri was nowhere to be found, and it had been theorized that she was permanently within Yuzu. This enraged Shun as he almost punched Akabaleo in the face and then eventually challenged Yugioh to a duel in which he would take one final loss. And then, of course, at the end of Arc 5, when it was pretty much confirmed that his best friend and younger sister would not be able to be revived and would be stuck within Yugioh and Yuzu respectively, Shun was seen smiling at that fate, which is certainly something that has been memed upon for years at this point. Before the events of the Arc 5 manga, Shun won a mental arithmetic tournament in which Yuzu placed second. This is important because this placed Shun on Reiji's recruiting radar. It doesn't matter what world Shun exists in, Reiji will recruit him for something. After watching Shingo fail to take down the Phantom, aka Yugioh, Shun was next in line to duel him. At one point, Shun takes 3,900 points of damage in order to feel the thrill of being on the verge of defeat. Yeah, this guy was pretty nuts at this point in the story. He ended up losing to Yugioh, and his views softened a bit on entertainment dueling and the world in general. Sadly for Shun, though, this was his first and last duel in the manga. He was way more of a background and side character than he was in the anime, but he still was present throughout most of the story. A lot of his dialogue at this point became him arguing with Shingo over silly things, including which one is more deserving of rematching Yugioh, a rematch that neither of them would ever get. Shun investigated Reiji's disappearance, showing loyalty to the man who recruited him, and him and Shingo eventually tracked down Reiji's location in the space exploration base, and right after finding him, Reiji instructed them all to go to the enemy's base in Antarctica. It was here that Shun would learn that Sora, whom they believed to be on their side, was actually fighting for the enemy team. Sora would lose to Yugioh, and even though he had stabbed Shun and Shingo in the back, they still decided to take care of him after the loss, since he was in a coma. Shun watched the finale duel between Reiji and Yugioh and decided at the end of the story to remain friends with Sora. Shun was instructed to leave the realm after the duel concluded. Reiji thanked them for all they did and thus concluded Shun's manga storyline. Both versions of Shun are intense, I would say. They also both duel Yugioh, the only character anime Shun and manga Shun both duel. The decks are the same archetype as both versions of Shun play a build of Raid Raptors, and they also got hired by Akiba Reiji. In the anime, Shun joins the Lancers, whereas in the manga, Reiji simply recruits him to take down Yugioh. I know this section is short, but there really aren't many similarities between the two, as there are differences. Shun is more masochistic and aggressive in the manga. He also duels way less and is a true side character throughout the manga. He only duels Yugioh on panel, and that's it. He has no on-panel wins in the manga, whereas in the anime, he picked up many different wins against many talented duelists, including Sora and Dennis. He also has no sister in the manga, as Ruri did not exist, and so without Ruri as that main driving motivational force, manga Shun doesn't have anyone tethering him to reality, which maybe explains why he's crazy in the manga. Another major difference is his relationship with Yuto. Yuto is Shun's best friend in the anime, whereas in the manga, I don't think they interact a single time. So no Ruri or Yuto dynamic in the manga, which makes Shun totally different. Shun is also very close with Shingo, and while the two of them comedically butt heads more than actually get along, this is a tight dynamic that I don't feel he really had with him in the anime. It is inarguable that Shun has a much more prominent role in the anime than he does in the manga. Shun plays a Raid Raptor deck in the anime and in the manga. Let's start with the manga because his deck profile is comical. He duels once and uses only 3 cards: Raid Raptor Napalm Dragonius, Raid Raptor Blade Burner Falcon, and the trap Raid Raptor's replica. Luckily, his anime counterpart gives us plenty of Raid Raptor cards. His most powerful from an attack perspective is Final Fortress Falcon, which has 3,800 attack and was used against Yugioh in his finale duel of Arc 5. The Raid Raptor deck focuses on XZ summoning using monsters with the same name. His deck also features a lot of rank up magic cards, which allows him to perform rank up XZ summons to get enhanced versions of his XZ monsters out on the field that can destroy opponents' monsters or deal damage through their effects. The final analysis is very, very easy in my opinion. Anime Shun wins by a country mile. First of all, Anime Shun is one of my favorite characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. He's one of my favorite characters in the franchise, so his manga version would have needed to be incredibly written and incredibly relevant in order to even have a chance to compete with the anime version, and it's not even close. Manga Shun duels once. He's genuinely a side character. He doesn't have the same driving motivation without Ruri being in the manga and with Yuto not playing the same role as he did in the Arc 5 anime. Anime Shun is much more relevant, much more memorable, and much more better when it comes to characterization in the Arc 5 anime than in the Arc 5 manga. And guys, that wraps it up. Thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know the next character you would like to see me do for the anime versus manga character analysis. I'd like this to be a once-a-month segment, so please let me know in the comments whichever character gets the most thumbs up 2 days after uploading this video. That will be the character that I do next, so make sure you vote and make sure you thumbs up comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, everyone.